right, you guys ready? How you doing, eh? All right, we're gonna get started. We'll call to order the meeting of the Haverford Township Zoning Hearing Board of Thursday, April 17th, 2025. Present at the front table to my far left is Ed McGargy, a voting member. To my left, Ernie Angelos, our solicitor.
Hello.
My right, Bill Rhodes, a voting member.
Good evening.
Jesse Poynton, a voting member.
Good evening.
And Jonathan Mount, Township Zoning Officer.
Good evening.
My name's Robert King. We have one decision tonight, a few extension requests, and two continued applications. We're going to work through our agenda, and there were some questions for our solicitor from board members, so we're going to do the decision on Z2317 after a brief break when we get through the rest of this agenda. That being said, Bill, would you please lead us in the pledge?
Sure, please rise if you can and repeat after me. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay. The first item is an extension request for a prior approval regarding case Z23-27, extension to the previously approved application for Jennifer Lukes and Jeffrey Persh, owners of 52 White Marsh Road, Ardmore, PA, DC folio number 2209-0271500, who seek a variance from the provisions of section 182204C4 to exceed the maximum 20% building coverage by 4.2%, or 281 square feet. Section 182204C5B, to encroach into the required 30-foot minimum secondary front yard setback by 5 feet 7 inches for the construction of a 2-story, 20 feet 8 inch by 10 foot 1 inch addition, and by 9 feet 11 inches for the construction of a front door portico. Property is zoned R2 and located in the 3rd Ward. Is there anyone here for this case? Please come forward. Hello, how are you guys doing? I think I need to swear you because it's listed as a new matter, so ladies first, please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? And your full name and address for the record? Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
And your full name and address for the record, please?
Jeffrey James Persh, 52 White Marsh Road, Ardmore, PA.
Okay. So you're requesting an extension.
Yes.
How long?
So the project we were told would be 7 months, and because we haven't started yet, probably a year.
Okay. And any particular reason for the delay or just?
Oh, sure, yeah. So when we requested the variance previously, we were told as part of the process that we would have to get a stormwater management plan in place. This was a very, very long process. We had to get a survey done. We had to, do an infiltration test. We had to hire a stormwater engineer to do a study. We then had to submit a grading permit to the township. We had to get approval of that. We had to come back and make changes to the plan based on the township engineer. And then finally, the last step in the process is that, then we had to file, with the township and with the county, we had to file this best management practices plan. And so that was a very long process, multi-stage, many people
So do you
involved.
think 12 months is enough to complete it?
If we can ask for more, that would be better, probably, just because things, 7 months is sort of a best case, plus we have to have the time to start it.
And
Can we request 2 years?
No. Are you under contract for the construction?
We have signed a contract, yes.
And when do you think they're going to start?
Probably maybe in a month or so. It depends on permits, how long it takes. I'm not sure how long it takes to get permits.
Okay. With that, I'm going to ask Ed, are you prepared to vote?
Yes, I am.
Bill, are you prepared?
Yeah.
Jesse?
Yes.
And so am I. All right. I'll run through it real quick. Is there anyone here that received certified mail that wishes to testify? Anyone here that received regular mail? Any other residents of Haverford Township? With that, the case is closed. Ed, are you prepared to vote?
I am.
Bill?
Yes.
Jesse?
Yes.
and so am I. I would move that we extend the completion date for 18 months, beginning with tonight. Ed?
I concur.
Bill?
I agree.
Jesse? I agree. Okay. 18-month extension from today. Thank you, guys. Good luck. Next item, Z23-19, extension to the previously approved application for Marion Golf Club, owners of 300 Ellis Road, the West Course, and 110 Tura Alta Circle, Haverford Town, BA, DC folio number 2204-003500 and 2204-00666706, who seeks a special exception under section 182-720CJ2A to permit recreational use in areas of very steep slopes, and a special exception under section 182-720C5D to permit recreational use in areas of steep slopes. A variance from section 154A11 to permit 18.8% total area of steep slope disturbance and 17.03% total area of very steep slope disturbance, where a maximum of 15% and 5% are permitted under section 154A5 respectively. Applicant also requests a determination that the proposed tee area located at 110 Tura Alta Circle in the SRD Special Residential District to be used in connection with West Course hole number 13 golf course constitutes a permitted use under section 182-712B1A, which allows recreational area uses by right. In the alternative, the applicant requests a variance from section 182-721B in order to permit the use of this area as a tee box in connection with the golf course, which is zoned INS and SRD R1 in Ward 4. Is there anyone from Marion here?
Typically, Mr. Chairman asked me a question in terms of Mary not being here. Typically, in a first request, we don't necessarily require the parties to be here. The party for the first case was here, but it's not necessarily a requirement. I would simply just request that council or the board go through to make sure there's nobody here. Otherwise, if you'd like to speak about it, and if the board's ready to vote, can vote on it.
Okay. Is there anyone present on behalf of Marion? Anyone that received certified mail? Anyone that received regular mail? Any other residents of Haverford Township? Okay, we'll close the record on this case. Since there's no specific time extension request being made of the board, typically we extend these items on a first request basis by 1 year. So I would move that we extend this approval for a period of 1 year. Ed, are you prepared to vote?
Yes, I am.
Bill, are you prepared?
I am.
Jesse?
Yes.
And so am I. So I would move that we extend it 1 year. Ed?
I concur.
Bill?
I agree.
Jesse?
I agree.
So do I. Extension 1 year. So that leaves just one other housekeeping matter. With regard to case Z25-10, Jim Miller Holdings, owners of 2228 Haverford Road, Ardmore, PA, DC folio number 2206-01067001 and 2201067002, who seek a variance and a special exception from section 182-701H, 182-701H2D, and 182-701H3 to permit the alteration of a pre-existing non-conforming freestanding sign where the zoning officer denied the permit based upon the selections listed herein, property zone R5 and located in the 6th Ward. The attorney's applicant was present this evening and spoke with our solicitor. Ernie, you want to reply?
Yeah, Mr. Robert Scott, the attorney for the applicant, is actually still here, indicated to me, and he can certainly speak for himself, that his client was sick. He did have documents to submit this evening, but obviously they wouldn't be authenticated to put on the record. So there was a request to continue this to the May 1st, which is our next hearing date.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, I'd request it to be continued to May 1st.
Okay, that application is continued to May 1st.
Thank you.
I hope he feels better.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
for coming.
Okay, good night.
All right. The next continued case we have is Z2507 P&P Eagle Road LLC, owner of 1901 Penview Road, Havertown, PA, DC folio number 2203-0175-350, who seek a variance from section 182-404B to permit the property and structure to be used for a single-family residence where the proposed use is not permitted. The property is currently used under a special exception to allow an apartment for one family in combination with a business. Property is zoned C3 and located in the 3rd Ward. Ernie, where were we when
Yeah,
last
Mr.
met?
Chairman, obviously, this is a continued case from a couple weeks ago. We continued it for the request of additional information and a plot plan, including both an existing and a proposed. There was no such plan presented at the initial hearing. The board requested additional submissions to help review the matter. That's what I have for purpose of my notes.
Okay, where were we with the exhibit scheme?
Exhibits. Written down. Thought I did.
Enter your appearance.
Yes, John McCreesh IV, attorney ID 68944, represent the property owner, P&P Eagle Road LLC, and with me is Young M. Park. He goes by Andrew, but he is one of the members of the LLC, the owner of the property.
And John, where were we with the exhibit?
That's correct, and the owner did the exhibit. I have, he has 4 copies I can hand up, so you can see, they wanted it, what it is now, which is the top, and there's a big concern about what the impervious was. So the top page is what it looks like now, and the second page is what he's proposing to do. The impervious area currently is 49%. It's a,
So John, where were we with the exhibits numbers? What's already been marked and identified? Where'd we leave off at the last hearing? Were there
I
exhibits?
don't have anything that was written down to be submitted or marked any exhibit.
I don't know. I know we sent in the deed, right? I think we just had the deed is probably.
Okay, so you didn't admit any exhibits, right?
No,
Or submit any exhibits?
no. And that's what they wanted. They wanted the plot plan.
So this is A1 then, right?
Yes.
Existing and proposed. And that's why I couldn't find it, Ernie. Oh,
Yeah, but that's what Jonathan prepares.
Okay, they weren't entered.
No.
no. All right, go ahead, John.
Okay, yeah, so you can see on the top page, it's because it was under a special exception to have commercial use on the first floor, and the owners of the commercial space to live on the second and third floors. You can see that it's 6,800 square feet is the lot size, and currently the impervious coverage is 49%, 3,386 square feet, which he has written down on the bottom. What he's proposed is, and what I think the board wanted, is that it has a large driveway on the right now because it was commercial, and he's reduced that or he's proposed to reduce that, you can see, by putting in grass, and they also wanted a buffer zone between the residence and the commercial property, which they also own, which is the Bacella's Deli. And they had, last time we had the realtor testify, and stated what the difficulty with the selling the house as it is right now, because you have a very limited number of people that are going to use it as the first floor. Andrew here, he's been there 26 years. They were the owners of Bacella's, but he's getting older. They're looking to sell, and there's really, like I said, very limited market that you're going to have someone commercial and then live above it, unless they had the store right next door. It's the residential use, I think, is more consistent with the neighborhood because it's off Penn View. Everything is residential next to it, across the street. There's no frontage on Darby Road, so the commercial use, I think is a difficult sell. And he's willing to, like I said, take out some of the impervious areas that'll get it down to 31% under the proposed areas and put up the buffer zone, which was another request at the last meeting. I don't have anything else unless you
So,
want
John,
to ask the owner anything.
Well, we're going to ask him a question.
Sure.
Who prepared these plot plans?
Yes.
Mr. Park prepared them.
Okay,
Yeah.
I need to swear you, I don't remember swearing you last time. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
And your full name and the capacity that you appear tonight?
My Young Min Park. I live in 1901 Penview Road in Haverford Town.
Okay, and you're one of the partners?
You're a member of PMP?
Yes.
Yeah.
Questions? Jesse?
So on the existing, you didn't lay out how many parking spaces exist now, but could you testify to how many parking spaces are on the existing condition?
Existing is 5 to 6.
And it's in this wider area on the left-hand side of the
Yes.
drawing?
Yes.
And do we list it, is this A1? Is it-
Yes.
So I'm referring to Exhibit A1. So there's a widened area of the driveway that's dimensioned at 12 feet deep by about 61 feet long, and there's 5 to 6 parking spaces there?
Yes.
And then it looks like there are some green X's. Do those represent existing trees?
Well, on the first one, are they existing?
No, they're
Existing,
proposed.
yes.
Yes.
Okay. And on the second plan, which A2, for the proposed plan, you've filled in this widened area where the 5 to 6 parking spaces existed. It's now shown with many more green X's, which
Yes.
would be new buffer trees planting
Yes.
that you will plant. And then there's a widened area of the driveway that's listed as 18 feet wide. So I believe the township requires 2 off-street, minimum 9 foot by 18 foot, is that right, Jonathan? Parking spaces. So could you confirm that you'll be able to fit 2 9 by 18 parking spaces in the
Yes.
proposed plan?
Actually, we try to park the 2 cars and get out of the car, and that's the minimum.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do not have any other questions.
Bill?
So, just to make sure that it's clear what the green pen marks are, where there's an X, that constitutes an existing tree, except, in A1, and where there's
They're
just,
existing trees.
where there's just
They
a
were.
Yeah,
diagonal.
one tree there.
and-
and the
So
grass.
for each X, represents a separate tree?
No,
No,
just, I don't want to mark in the cover with the full green color.
Okay.
Yeah.
so, so everywhere where there are one or more X's in a squared area delineated by the depiction, there's at least one tree there, is that?
Oh, that has 2 trees. 2 big trees.
2 big trees.
On the whole property?
Right.
Okay, all right, so.
I think
this-
it means more green space is what he's trying to
Okay,
get.
it's not-
Great.
it's not
It's
denoting
green.
trees.
It's not denoting trees, right.
Yeah, and
It should.
so, and then on A1 and A2, what is the little diagonal dash? Is that connote something different than an X?
You know,
Right here, right here.
this 5 feet the grass.
The grass.
Grass,
Right
okay.
next to left-hand side of
Okay.
the building.
Okay.
Yeah. If you also see too, in the back or towards the top, there's a handicap ramp, which was required for commercial. They're going to take that out because they wouldn't need it for a residential
Yeah,
use.
so
So,
you make a step.
yeah, they're just going to make it a step to take out some. Take-
So the little, on A2, the square, well,
A1, page 2.
Yeah, on A2,
Oh, I'm sorry, it's
yeah, on
A1,
A2,
page 2.
yeah, on A1, you can see it's a bigger area that's a handicap ramp, which again,
Right.
required by ADA for commercial, but not for residential.
and so the remaining portion of that ramp to be removed is essentially just a landing to walk into the house?
Correct, yes.
And so there'll be steps on it, it's just not depicted on this drawing?
It's going to be, right, steps, not, yeah,
You're gonna use
steps.
steps.
Mhm.
Okay, and then I thought we might be getting more information about if this is going to revert to a single-family home?
Yeah.
So there were kitchen and other living, or there were at least kitchen facilities on more than one floor currently. Is that right?
First floor.
First floor only? There's no cooking facilities on the second or third floor? Okay. And is there any exterior egress to the second or third floors currently? And, no?
Nope.
And any proposed?
Nope.
The inquiry here is to make sure this is.
Right,
going
that's
back to a single-family house.
one unit, right. They understand that. They understand there's a concern that there be two units. There's no separate entrance. It's,
throw it in back.
they all go through the first floor, right, yes.
And they all go through the door on the end of the building towards the top of the driveway? That's the entrance?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I have no other questions, thank you.
Thank you.
Ed?
No, no other question.
And neither do I. And we want to ask him if he adopts everything.
Yeah, John, if you just want to, just ask him briefly if he adopts anything you indicated in the beginning, just to square up.
Yes, you were here when you heard my testimony about the property?
Yes.
Okay, and would you agree
Yes.
that was true?
Yes.
And you would adopt that as your own testimony if you were called to testify? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, anything else, John?
No, that's
All right,
fine.
with that, I'll ask if there's anyone present that received certified mail that wishes to testify, anyone present that received regular mail, any other residents of Haverford Township? With that, we'll close the record on this case, and the decision will be rendered either this evening or at our next regularly scheduled hearing on May 1st, if we're unable to do it today. And John, you want your exhibit admitted, right?
Yes, please, yes, because
So,
yes.
A1 is-
Admit the exhibit, yes, please.
All right, and with that, that's it, right? All right, with that, we're going to take a recess that the board can consult with our solicitor. And Christina, we'll go off the record now. Okay. Our final matter this evening, a decision in case Z23-17. Oh, you're right, sorry. All right, first we'll do a decision in case Z25-07, P&P Eagle Road LLC, owner of 1901 Penview Road, Havertown, PA, DC folio number 2203-0175350. Seek a variance from section 182404B. I won't read the rest of the description into the record unless somebody specifically requests that I do so. Jesse, would you please well, first of all, are you prepared to vote?
Yes, I am.
Bill, are you prepared?
I am.
Ed?
Yes.
And so am I. Jesse, would you please take that decision?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, with regards to case Z25-07, I would vote to approve the requested relief with the following conditions. 1, 2 off-street parking spaces, 9-foot by 18-foot minimum will be provided. 2, buffer plantings provided in accordance with township requirements as depicted in Exhibit A1 will be provided. 3, leasing in whole pursuant to township code is permitted, but no letting or subletting of any space of the property in part will be allowed. Next condition, all floors will be connected internally. The next condition, one kitchen will be provided for the entire residence. The project will be completed within 1 year and in accordance with the notes of testimony.
Ed?
I concur.
Bill?
I agree.
And so do I. That application is approved 4-0 with those conditions. Now, with respect to case Z 23-17, continuation of a previous hearing, an amended application of Sun and Raj Fuel LLC, owners of 700 Haverford Road, DC folio number 2205-003780. The original application to be amended as follows: a special exception pursuant to section 182-802D2 for a change from an existing non-conforming use of a gasoline service station to a vehicle refueling facility to permit the existing fuel pumps to remain on the property as they exist, a variance from section 182-403B1 to permit both a vehicle refueling facility and a convenience store, a permitted use under section 182-403B1B, a variance from the definition of a convenience store, section 182-106, to permit the Pace-O-Matic machine to be located in the convenience store, a modification of the 1960 zoning hearing board hours of operation to change to 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. The remaining relief remains as follows: a variance from section 182-708A1 to allow a loading and unloading space in front of the building, a variance from section 182-707B to provide 6 off-street parking spaces when 7 would otherwise be required, a variance from section 182-701E1B1 to permit the total existing sign area to be 140.2 square feet when a maximum of 105 square feet is permitted, a variance from section 182-701E1B2C to permit a freestanding sign with an area of 107 square feet when a maximum area of 25 square feet is permitted. The variance from section 182-701B4 was withdrawn. Bill, are you prepared to vote?
I am.
Jesse? Ed?
Yes, I
So am I. Bill, would you please take that decision?
Yeah, so I would vote to approve the requested relief as follows. 1, to grant a special exception pursuant to section 182-802D2 for a change from an existing non-conforming use of a gasoline service station to a vehicle refueling facility and permit the existing fueling pumps to remain on the property as they exist. Second, a variance from section 182-403B1 to permit both the vehicle refueling facility and a convenience store as a permitted use under section 182-403B1B on the property, as only one use is permitted on the property. The convenience store shall be located where grocery items are currently sold and in the existing service building. 3, a modification of the 1960 zoning hearing board approval of hours of operation of 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. to new hours of operation of 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. 4, a variance from section 182-708A1 to allow a loading and unloading space in the front of the building. 5, a variance from section 182-707B to provide 6 off-street parking spaces when 7 would otherwise be required. 6, a variance from section 182-701E1B1 to permit the total existing sign area to be 140.2 square feet when a maximum of 105 square feet would otherwise be required. 7, a variance from section 182-701E1B2C to permit a freestanding sign with a maximum area of 107 square feet when a maximum area of 25 square feet would otherwise be required. And 8, a variance from the definition of convenience store under section 182-106 to permit only the existing Pace-O-Matic machine to remain. These would be subject to the following conditions. The property and all permitted uses shall be operated and conducted in accordance with all applicable federal, state, and local laws, rules, and regulations. 2, no outdoor storage in any part of the property at any time. 3, no vehicle storage on the property at any time and no overnight parking of vehicles. 4, all fuel and other deliveries shall only be allowed during normal business hours. 5, all exterior commercial illumination, including signage, shall be extinguished at 10 p.m. each night. 6, there shall not be more than one licensed game of skill machine on the premises and no games of chance at any time. 7, the premises shall not be used as a significant tobacco retailer, as such term is defined in the Township Zoning Code. And 8, the project will be completed within 2 years of the date of this approval in accordance with the notes of testimony.
Okay. Jesse?
Agree.
Ed?
I'd vote in opposition.
I agree. That application's approved with those conditions, 3-1. Any other matters?
Just for purposes of council, I will get a written decision out tomorrow to start the 30-day appeal clock, and I'll get the findings of fact and conclusions of law to you, hopefully within that 30-day, but I'll try to get it to you as quickly as possible.
Can I ask whether the appeal period lies from your findings of fact?
No, it'll go from the notice of the written decision.
Any other administrative matters?
Unless you're willing to waive the time frame in order to get that done, and then I can extend it.
I don't want to argue with it, I just think the case law requires the zoning hearing board to issue its reasons so that we can file it.
No, I think it does and it will, but I think also the agency law allows the way I'm doing it, so does the MPC. And most municipalities send out a written request of the decision, followed by the findings of fact and conclusions of law.
I don't disagree with that. I'm
Okay,
just saying
well,
whether
that's what I'm saying.
Okay. Any other matters? Then we are adjourned.